Choose life. Choose a career. Choose. Never too old to game. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're discussing the patch notes for Season 2 Reloaded. And how does that shape us up for the meta? Well, without further ado, let's jump in and check this stuff out right about now. Hey! So guys, from a top 10 best loadouts, the ones that are going to be meta for you guys to be running and getting those wins and kills in Caldera and Rebirth Island, this is what we're going to be running. So my 10th class, I have Ghost. For this I have the Bren paired with the Diamante pistol. Double time, Ghost and amped with throwing knife and stim. These are my staple. The perks pretty much do not change across the board for my general classes. And lethal and tacticals are pretty much the same going throughout, especially with the gas. Stims are super perfect. If you haven't got a gas mask, you can pop this and position yourself around and also give that time to get through the gas mask and redo your positioning. Fantastic. Throw a knife to save on that ammo. As soon as you're firing down, that person's down, get the knife, get it back, super duper. So start off, we're going to go with the Diamante. Diamante, we run the Agency Suppressor, the Task Force Barrel, the Microflex LED for that nicer aim down sights on your target, the 30 round fast mag and the Serpent Wrap. This gun is pretty much the best pistol that you guys can be rocking as a secondary when we haven't got overkill, until we pick up an SMG. Pairing this on this hand, I love the Bren. The Bren is still an out and out right beast of a gun. This can be set up in pretty much the same way, but there's a few tweaks. So for us, we go with the MX silencer for that sound suppression, vertical and horizontal recontrol, and does affect the ADS. For counteracting that, I use the on-hand perk, as we know that this gives you equipment dexterity, but also helps with your ADS. We then go with the 775 Spectre barrel. Some people do still rock the 705 for that damage range, but if you are using Rebirth Island, you pretty much want to go with the 775, and if not, you can go with the 75. Very much not much difference between the two. Optic wise, I go with the 2.5 optic. There's a lot of people that use the PU scope 3 to 6 times. I just don't like it. For me, it has the same visual recoil effect, exactly the same stats as the 2.5. You just have that better zoom scope. But for me personally, I prefer the 2.5. For the stock, we go with the Queen's Model 11BH for the accuracy, flinch resistance, recoil control, aim stability. It does affect ADS and movement speed. However, you can also go for the Hawkinson SP2B as another option. Pretty much go between the two. Polymer grip for that flinch resistant accuracy and recoil during sustained fire. The M1941 hand stock for that recoil and accuracy, and it does affect your hip fire, but when we're going to be hip firing LMGs, we won't. Lengthened for giving us better bullet velocity, and magazine, we go with the 100 round mag. I was rocking the 6.5 secure 40 round mag, but I was finding I was usually burning through like one mag to get 2 kills, whereas now I have 100 rounds and I feel that this is giving better of a pack and punch. One thing I must say, guys, is there's a fantastic website there called Sim, SYMGG. This has all the hardcore data from Warzone for all of the guns, and this is what I've been using to make sure I know exactly what barrels, what stocks I want for my class setups. So without further ado, I'll tell you what, guys, let me quickly show you it. So this is their website, absolutely freaking good. You've got True Game Gator, he does a lot of stuff, but this, if you like looking at the stats yourself, this is the pure hard stuff from Warzone. So when we look over here at the MX silencer, I can then look at the Mercury sight and see that I get ADS time is minus 40 milliseconds. It does give us that view kick vertical multitude by plus 0.05 times, and that gun kick vertical plus 0.05. So if I click on recoil booster now, I can then scroll down and then I can see the differences between the Mercury silencer and the MX silencer. So you can see the MX silencer has the same muzzle velocity as the Mercury, but fire rate the same, minus 32 RPM. One affects, the Mercury silencer does not affect your ADS time, whereas the MX does. But you can see that you get much more benefits from your gun kick and view kick. So the MX silencer is clearing out the best one for here. If we do the same with the barrels, so if I go back through, you set a 705, you can see it gives us a 300 RPM. ADS is pretty good. And then we can also go down to the 705. So you can see it gives us that view kick and gun kick. And a 300 RPM. So it's got the same RPM. And pretty much the view kick is better for the 775. So for me, I'm not worried about the ADSing. And muzzle velocity 150, you get a better muzzle velocity from the 775. For me, that is out and out why we'd want to use that. Another very good thing is why I don't run the 40 round mag, which is I'm going to look at here. So if we look at the 40 round mag, it gives us fire rate of 156. The fire rate on the 100 rounds is 104, so slower fire rate. But it gives us that view kick and gun kick benefits, pretty much the same. Muzzle velocity is minus 436 and only minus 145. So you get a faster fire rate with the 40 rounds, but muzzle velocity, so that means you're going to get a drop off with these rounds over distance. So that means basically the 100 rounds, slightly slower fire rate, but it beams as you lay on target. So for us, the 100 round mag is clearly an out and out winner. So guys, this is really, really, really good. I'll scroll down and show you some other stuff. Gives you a lot of stuff, a lot of stats on muzzle velocity, what it started off with the base, what it ends up with the attachments, the ammo count, how everything's affected. So you can see how we've affected our view kick. A sustained gun kick is exceptionally good. So for instance, this gun will beam and be on target. And it will go down and give you your 600 milliseconds time to kill. And then your damage. You can do damage, bullets to kill. So it's roughly around about, it tells you 7 bullets to kill all the way out to 45 meters. And then beyond that, 46, you've got 8 bullets. Or damage basically per mag. It is really frigging good, guys. You can then pair this, you can add another gun on this, so you can literally work out what is the meta guns yourself. You know, this is what I use. I check it out. I love doing this myself. This is really, really good. But without further ado, let's dive back in and check out ninth place, guys, shall we? So, in my ninth place, I use high alert or tempered. So I've got my double time, tempered as my secondary, or I go with high alert and then combat scout. Throw knife and stims. Same Diamatti setup as before. I'm running pistols without overkill. And then this, I'm using the Cooper carbine. This is a very easy class to use. It's very all-rounder. It's not good at everything, but it's just a good all-rounder. And for this, we run the Mercury silencer, 22-inch custom, Cooper custom, the 2.5-inch scope, the Cooper 45 RS stock, tight grip, on hand for that faster ADS, polymer grip, the 45 round 0.30 carbine, lengthened and M3 ready stock. Very easy to use. If you're jumping back in, you want tempered, so you only used to use 2 body plates, and you want a ping, which is the wall hacks with Combat Scout, then this is a very fine gun to use. The TTKs on this up to 20 meters are absolutely phenomenal for this gun, so very, very good for Rebirth Island. Next up, down in 8th place, we have restock. So restock, I use double time, restock, of course, proximity mines, stim. This is the time I change my lethals because I want to ping these in doorways, cover my areas, cover my exits, entrances, so I don't always, especially I'm playing duos or even solos, very, very good and very handy. I know someone blows one up and know where they're coming from, and Combat Scout again for those wall hacks. For this, I run the Bren, pretty much the same across what I had before, which is what we've already covered. And next up I have my sniper class. So sniper class is very independent, run the same perks, double time, overkill and amped, with throw knife and stim. The KAR98, because I'm a console player, so I use a controller. And for this I run the Monolith Expressor, the Singard 27.6 barrel, the tac laser, the sniper scope and the precision cone. This gun is still way OP. One shot downs, headshots, absolutely fry. I'm pairing this up with the Owen gun, which is a fantastic close to medium range gun. This is phenomenal. So for this we run the recoil booster, the 188mm shrouded barrel, the Nidam Model 47, the remove stock, acrobatic for one perk, quick for the other, stipple grip, which helps us with that recoil, recover initial firing recoil, the 72 round mag, so we have enough ammo in there, the subsonic to keep us off the map, and the Mark 6 Skeletal Scott for that quick ADS. Some people do like to use this goddamn scope, the M38 State 2.5 custom, only because when you drop it down to the 2.5, the scope appears above the barrel. Whereas when you're running normal NIDAR scope, the scope is on the side, which does give you that visual block to the right. However, it looks really weird. For me personally, stick with the NIDAR, or even, guys, even go with the slate reflector. Either of these are much better. Once you get used to it with having that visual block, you'll be fine. Very good. Gun is pretty much one of the best SMGs around there. I highly rate this. This pairing is phenomenally good. And then we go into 6th place. This is for you guys that are basically starting out. You've dropped in with Vanguard. You've led up to a couple of the guns. If you're going to level anything up and you want an easy game, MP40 and the STGG. These guns are super easy to use. Very easy. So the MP40, we run the recoil booster with the 189 short barrel, slate reflector. You can go with iron sights, but I find with, as I'm a control player, the optic, I definitely need the slate reflector, definitely helps me out, otherwise I was missing my shots. The fold in stock, brace, quick, stippled, 45 round mag, hollow point and a hand stop. Hollow point, you can always watch out for frangible, because this has basically been affected slightly, so you could drop in with here and have frangible, so as you ping them and shoot them, they will slow down and you probably get those kills. So that's one thing to think about swapping over. Or another thing is, because I'm not off the map, is also go subsonic. Stop off the map. Or if you want to remove brace, you can then go with unmarked as another way of going off the map. Quite a few loadouts changes you can do, but very good gun, very versatile. The STGG, very good, very all-rounder, very good assault rifle. Not the best, not the worst, but definitely very good to use and very easy to use at that. So for that, you run the MX silencer, the 760 barrel, the 2.5 scope, the VDDD 34S weighted for your stock, vital perk, fully loaded, polymer grip, 60 round mag, lengthened, and the hand stop. Awesome, guys. This is a very easy class to use. Definitely check it out. So then in 5th place we have the Armaguero and the Automaton. This, my friends, is my class which I like to use for Rebirth Island. The reason for this is the Armaguero is fantastic at those 0 to like 14 meter ranges. It absolutely decimates, and even decimates even more when we run the .30 Russian short 34 round mag. That's why it's ideal for solo and duos, because this mag will not be good for trios and quads. So for this we run the recoil booster, the 315 body barrel, slate reflector, the fold in stock, hard scope, quick, rubber grip, subsonic to keep us off the map, Mark 6 scheduled grip for the ADS, and that magazine to make this gun absolutely fry. Perk 1, you could go with steady, you could go with vital for that extra torso damage, but it does massively affect your recoil control and accuracy. This gun is pretty good to use, but it does have a slight kick to it, so I would veer on the side of caution when selecting vital unless you can really control it, or go for hard scope or steady, depending on which your play style is. And then pairs with the Automaton, which is absolutely fantastic. Super fire rate, very good. Pretty much doesn't pair up as the meta guns across the board. The Bren is up there, the AK-47, the Vargo, but this gun, very easy to use as well. Good magazine size, and I love this pairing in Rebirth. I always have great fun. So for this I run the MX silencer, the 600mm BFA, 2.5 volt tip, Anastasia padded stock, tight grip on hand for that quicker ADS, polymer grip, 75 round and 6.5mm Secura, lengthened, and the hand stop. Pair this with double time overkill and amped, and then throw knife and stims once again. And down in 4th place we have the MP40, which we know is very easy to use, and pairing this with the new Cold War Vargo gun. So for the Vargo we run the GRU suppressor, taskful barrel, actual 3x scope, 60 round mag, and spec stuff. You could also drop into the 45 round mag to basically give you that faster mobility as well. Pair this with the MP40, which is pretty much the same as we already touched on, so I won't go through those again. Same perks and same lethal and tacticals, and this is a very good class. The Vargo is pretty much on just not as good damage profile as the AK-47, and pretty much on par with the XM4, but much easier to control. So a very good gun in my 4th place. In my 3rd place we now have the Automaton again. I love this gun, and pairing with the Owen is an absolute powerhouse. So the Automaton is the same setup as we had before, and the Owen is pretty much the same again as the setup that we've had before as well. Same perks, lethals and tags. And in 2nd place we have the Owen with the AK-47. The AK-47 is pretty much on par with the Bren in terms of the best assault rifles and LMGs, or best powerhouses to use. It's the AK-47, the Grew Suppressor, the 20-inch Spetsnaz RPK barrel, 3x scope, 45 round respectively. You could go with 60, but that's going to affect your ADS and mobility, so stick with the 45, and this gun does fry, so you won't have to worry about having an extra 15 rounds on the mag. Pairs with the Owen, which we had before, and you are pretty good. I've got this as fleet, but you might want to shove this out to acrobatic. That's the only change that I've got along this side of things. And then finally, in first place, we have the Owen with the Bren. So the best SMG and the for close to medium range, and the best long range gun without a doubt. For this one, slightly, I do have it slightly changed up. I use the Hockensen SP25. I switch between this and the Queen's model. So I tend to have this set up for my main, and then I've got the others Ghost as well as restock, which if I want to change my stock out. Not much difference between the two, to be honest, but you know, easier to control with the Queen's barrel, does affect your ADS, better ADS, does affect your initial firing control. So if you want the Queens, then you've got the easiest gun to use on the game. And these guns definitely fry, guys. If you're having a bad game, just get these two out and you will have a good game. Pair this with double time, overkill and out, throw knife and stim, and you guys are good to go. Thank you guys and ladies. Like and subscribe. Laters.